So we're basically doing a Hunter wine podcast today.
Yes. Yeah.
Wine and whiskey. I did my best to get wine, but I failed. And but you still have wine.
Yeah. I have a red sangria, which I'm going to start with first from Miramonte Winery. This right here with good hair on the chest.
Nice.
Delicious.
Anyways, cheers, brother. Cheers. As you know, and for the audience that's listening, this is a Hunter podcast. So we're going to be talking about the show Hunter, which I watched on Hulu, and I want to say even Netflix, but it's on all streaming platforms, Crunchyroll, all that. But we're just going to go through the show, different seasons, and why we like it. And the first part I wanted to ask you is, how did you even get into Hunter, and what made you decide to start watching it way back when you first started watching it?
Yeah. So, I mean, with X Hunter, I was kind of like skeptical at first, you know.
Okay.
But I started like watching anime back in like college. Like I started with like Naruto and Bleach and all that good stuff, and then I kind of like finished them. You know, I went through like One Piece and all that stuff, and then I was just fiending. I was just like fiending for content, and I kind of looked online for some good suggestions and some animes to start, and Hunter X Hunter just kept coming up. Like people just kept talking about it. People kept saying nothing but good things. It was on like Crunchyroll's like most popular list and like stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what? I don't have shit to do. I'm not doing anything right now, and I just need to watch this. And honestly, once I did, I fell in love. It was literally just one of the greatest times that I can even think of right now. I'm actually reminiscing me starting it, and I was like super jealous of you because you were experiencing it again for the first time. And I was like, you didn't have those moments yet, and I was like, I had them, and I just wish I was you so I could just relive it. So yeah, once I started it, I finished it probably within like 2 weeks.
Because you were watching it towards when it first started. I want to say there's like 5 seasons, maybe 4 or 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it on TV or wherever you watched it, like as it was being released? Like you would watch a season and then wait for an episode to come out, and then you would watch it like as it went, or did you watch it like in one full burst?
I watched it in one full burst. That's how I knew I watched it after college, because all the episodes were out, and I streamed them all on Crunchyroll. So
okay.
Straight through all 5 seasons, everything. I was able to get through that in a couple weeks, but it was the greatest. I remember staying up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just watching them, just straight binging watching. You know what I mean? Like that is a hobby for me to watch anime, and I need content. You know what I mean? Through COVID, if I didn't have anime with COVID right now, I would be literally, my mental health would be on zero.
Going crazy.
Yeah. Would you say like when you started it and you watched a good anime like Hunter X Hunter, didn't it inspire you to watch like other good animes like that you could really get into?
Well, yeah. I mean, I started watching JoJo first recently. That was the one that it like sparked my interest for anime again recently. And once I finished that, I was like all on board for watching the current good anime shows, and everyone recommended Hunter. Everyone recommended Gurren Lagann. Everyone recommended Death Note and One Piece. But for Hunter, how do you think you like it compared to other anime you watched, like other anime shows you watched? Is it like?
I would say Hunter is. I wouldn't say like it's in a league of its own, because there is some other similar ones to it, but I would definitely say the level of like character development, level of like entertaining episodes, and level of non-filler episodes. Like, cause I can't stand fucking filler episodes like Naruto. Like, it's just like they fucking you watch an episode and they're like, "Hey, Naruto goes to the pumpkin patch today." It's like bullshit. So like, and I felt like it was all in your face. Hunter was just like literally every episode was fucking great, and I look forward to it, and like I just wanted more. I would say literally, it's it's top three for me. Top three animes I've ever watched of all time.
Wow. Why do you think that is compared to the other ones? Is it because the style of like the story being told or the characters, or why would you say it's your top three?
Story one,
Okay.
characters two. It had enjoyable characters that I like all had their own personalities and like really good villains. They had really good villains, like tough characters for like the main characters to overcome like Gon and everything else like that. Their fight the fight scenes were ridiculous. I loved the tournament style. It had everything. It had video game. It had tournament style. It had like that. Those two key factors to me. Any anime that has like a tournament theme in it, I'm a sucker for it. And
Yeah.
then they had the video game trapped in a video game thing. Like it was
For a
just
whole
like
season.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Those things when an anime does something like that, because normally they do one or the other, right? This one had both, and it kept getting better. And then it took you to places that you didn't think that you like an anime could really touch at that point.
Yeah.
And like their powers and everything else like that was just super super detailed. I honestly loved it. Like it was just overall a great anime. Like I really can't think of another anime that I can find that has like there's always something I can find wrong with an anime. But the story, character development, and the freaking animation was sick. So because even you can have a good anime, but the animation is trash, and you're just like these fight scenes are just straight ass. The storyline is great, but this is just straight stupid.
Do you think throughout the whole show from season one to the last season or for the majority of it, do you think it was pretty seamless in terms of either it was getting more exciting and better, or at least it wasn't getting low and there wasn't a lot of dips? Like, how would you rate it in terms of, I guess, watchability and excitement throughout the whole thing? Like, was there any like downfalls? Was there any parts where you're like,
Yeah, there was, and that it sucks that there was, but okay. So first four seasons, like it was in a steep like incline. I'm like, this is great. It was in goat status.
yeah,
And then I watched the last season, and it was
but
bugs and shit, and like it was weird. It was freaky, kind of freaked me out. But I did like how Gon transformed into a freaking adult.
yeah,
That was cool. You know what I mean? Anybody like
did
it
it
was
redeem season?
it got weird. Like it turned into Hunter x Hunter's GOAT status. And the last season just became like out of nowhere JoJo, and I was just like, this just got super weird
Yeah,
and like dark. Like it got so dark. Like it was fun. You're having a good time, everything else like that. Then it just got super dark. People just started dying right to left, and I'm like, it just took a turn. Not that saying I don't like dark anime, but I just liked it to be consistent. You can't have 1, 2, 3, and 4 at one way, and you have season 5 be the darkest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's just gonna throw me off from having that kind of consistency. You know what I mean? So I would say the last season was cool and all. I wasn't expecting it. I can see where they were going with it, but it just got a little bit too weird and too dark to just go along with what they had in the other 4 seasons for me. I don't know about you, but that's how I felt.
no, I agree. I want to say it's towards the beginning of that last season too. There was a scene where I want to say it was like a little boy and a little girl by a river, and it was when they were first exposing that these bugs were like trying to take over humanity, and this
Mhm.
giant bug fucking thing comes over, and the boy's like trying to be a hero. He's like, "I'm gonna protect my girl," and he just like dies. The bug just kills both of them. I'm like, that's not even good fun. That's just
Yeah,
depressing.
like this is dark.
Yeah, I'm just sad now.
Yeah, I'm
And
like that man is just dead. Like it didn't
yeah,
seem like there was nowhere like, hey, is the hero gonna come to save him? No, that
no,
man just got eaten alive by a
Just
damn
children dead, 2 children deaths instantly by some deranged bug.
beetle.
Yeah, and I think so too. I agree with once the bug season came on, and you kind of warned me about it because I was watching it and I thought,
I don't like to do that, by the way, either. I don't like to spoil animes for people. I don't want you to don't pose that picture to people right now. Like, hey,
well, it's not that. I heard it from multiple people. I heard that the last season was different. So I was watching up until I thought the last season what was it? It's not Guilty Island. What was the island called?
Greed Island.
Greed Island. So I watched Greed Island. I thought that was the last season. I was like, I'm done. I'm ready to do the podcast. And I was talking to you about it, and I was talking to my brother about it, and you guys are like, "That's not the last season. There's one more." I'm like, "But that's all the show. That's all that's on Netflix." And like, go on Crunchyroll right now and look up Hunter x Hunter. There's another season, and that's a long season. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I go there and I'm watching it, and I would say the first 3/4 is just strange events the whole time, and very little of the main characters like Gon and Kill and Hisoka. They're just it's just no none of the main characters are really in the show. They're just kind of like they do a little sneak appearance. They're like, I'm still here, and they disappear. And then it is until the very end where I ended up seeing where Gon turned into an adult and he just wiped out that chick. That's when it got really really good again. Like that part, like the last I don't know like maybe 10 episodes.
Right. When he turned
Really,
into an adult, right? Yeah. When
yeah.
he stepped up, that's when I was like, damn, okay, they got me back.
I don't know if how much you heard about it or maybe you know some of it, but the creator of Hunter x Hunter, what I was being told was, or what I researched was, it would almost be like pulling teeth for him to make new seasons because he would say he would get into like this mental like other realm to create the show, and it would take so much out of him that he would just be like, I'm not going to make the show anymore, this is the last season. And it was like, he would make really good seasons. So when season 4 came out, everyone loved it, everyone wanted more from him, and he was like, I'm not going to do it again, you guys just have the manga. And then people would demand him to do more, and he would be like, okay, let me do it again. And he would be getting like ill and sick from making the show because it took so much out of him, like so much creative.
I believe it. I believe it. It happens all the time
Yeah.
with him. You'd be surprised. That actually is very common. Like you.
What would you say your top 3 characters are, or who are your favorite characters and why? Or like teams, like there's some groups that they're like the Phantom Troop. They're like the group of the Phantom Troops with that girl with the vacuum, that guy with the
Yeah. Who? Okay. Okay. So that's what the names. I'm always never good with the names. Who was the guy that with the eyes, the scarlet eyes?
Kurapika. He's the blonde guy with the eyes
Yes.
that
He's
he has
in
the
my top.
invisible chains.
Yes. That I love that one. I love that one. When he got revenge on them, that scene right there, I probably rewatched 1,000 times. Like when he finally ran into that guy,
The big beastly guy
strong
that's
guy,
super
yeah,
strong.
they
Yeah.
scream and kill the guy. Yeah, like when he finally went up against them and they had no idea what the fuck hit them, like that was probably my favorite part. Like, and it literally, he could only kill them because he like literally made a vow, like, that's how strong I can make it. I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna make a vow that I can only kill them. Like, and that fucking arc was crazy, dude. Who is his? Okay, who was Gon's best friend though?
So Killua, the guy, the lightning god,
Yeah.
that guy. It's Gon and Killua.
Yeah. Okay. So those are my 3. Those 3 are my 3.
Uvogin, that's his name. But yeah, he was like, I loved him. He was sick. And then that's when the guy with the chains came, and I was like, oh my gosh, he beat him, and I didn't even know he had those powers. And it was just like one of my top favorite battles of the whole show. And I like those guys, but I have to say I really liked that. I feel like he's like a Joker guy, Hisoka, the guy that has the fear and star.
With the star, you talking about the? I'm not gonna.
Very odd guy.
Very homosexual. That one.
Pedophile type of guy. Yeah, I don't like that part of him. Like the part where he's like overly sexual towards Gon and Kill, even though they're like 12 years old. that part's a little strange, but
Yeah, he got his kicks off. He got his rocks off. Just
yeah,
look at little boys' butts. Yeah.
but his character implemented in the show, I think, was really cool. Like you would see him,
Oh, he was sick. Yeah, he was sick.
you would see
The
him like
first
in
time
the tournament, and then you would see him just progress everywhere, and then
he
he
was,
would like join.
he was in almost every season. Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool. I liked his character implementation and his fighting, and
He was beast.
his moves were sick. He was just very very pedophile, which that
I
it's a hard it's a hard balance.
was like, how much do you like him? You know, I'm starting to
No,
wonder now.
I think I texted you. I was like, did this guy just check out their asses and they just do like a zoom up on it in the
He
forest? What
just
the hell is
come in his
going on?
pants. Yeah, did he just come in his pants? Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So there's definitely parts where I wish. I mean, I don't know how necessary that was. Maybe they did
But
that on
you're
purpose.
coming. Wait a second. You're coming from JoJo, so I don't want to really hear about you talking about
Weirdness.
scenes.
Well, I almost think the creators do it for a reason. They don't just like accidentally make him a pedophile or like an overly sexual demented guy. They do it for a reason. They want you to hate him. So they make him seem really cool and his fighting moves and all that. And
Yeah.
you almost like I was almost rooting for him at the beginning and I was like, he's just a dope ass villain.
Yeah.
And then you see the bad parts, I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. And then as an audience, you can't like him, or you can, but I
You
didn't.
can. You
You
can.
can. Everyone has a preference, but I didn't like him, and most I would say didn't like him, and they did it on purpose because they want you to have like a disconnect from him, and like
Of
focus
course.
on going to kill. Yeah. What would
So
you say your favorite season is of all the seasons?
Greed Island. Greed Island, man.
Green Light, yeah, for sure.
Close. Whatever season that was, I don't even know.
Four.
Whatever season.
What's your favorite part of Greed Island?
Um.
That's my favorite season too, by the way.
Yeah, I would probably say I liked when they were in their training for it. I like when they were like training up and just because they the thing about I liked about Greed Island is that they did their own thing. Like they did their own thing and they wanted to just play the game because, just because. And then when they found out you can get one of the cards and make it a real card if you beat the game.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, can we transfer that card to my dad? I was like, shit, that's it. That's how they're going to see him. I was like, that's the card. They're going to use the transportation card and get to his father and like finally do it. You know what I mean? They did the game and they beat the game the right way. And I just love the fact like how they were just collecting cards and shit like that. It was just a great time, honestly, just from start to finish, watching them like start up and do their own thing. And you know what I mean? Like finding some of the hardest cards to get, like the whole dodgeball tournament. That shit was crazy.
It's almost like getting there's I don't know if you agree to this. There's a certain sense of like nerdiness to anime, which I'm proud of at this point because maybe when you're younger, there's like a negative stigma about being a nerd, but now it's like I'm proud of being a nerd. I love video games. I love it.
There's a huge stigma with anime, but like I feel like now it's starting to get understood. I feel like it's starting to get cool again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
before, I couldn't tell people that I watched anime. Like it was like weird.
No, I know what
People
you mean.
never guessed that I watch anime. You know what I mean? Like, and I was huge into it. You know what I mean? And I kept it to myself. And like if I told people that now, like it's not really a stigma. But back then, they're like, oh my god, this guy's a fucking weirdo. Like, what the hell is he doing?
Why do you?
How are you? How are you? You watching cartoons? Shit. What is this? What are you watching?
I know, and it would when I wasn't into anime. I'll be honest, I didn't think anything less of you, but it definitely put like another layer to you that I didn't understand when I saw you watching anime.
From looking at me, and I like it.
Yeah, and I would see you watch anime, and I didn't know I don't know if it was Dragon Ball Z or what it was, but it had like another layer to it.
Yeah, I watched it on lunch break, so that's what people like. So they're like, "Hey, Jordan's on his lunch watching cartoons and shit," and they're like, they made fun of me, and I was just like, "No, man, this shit is like, you know what I mean? I look forward to it."
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand. Why do you think there is such or was such a negative stigma towards it? Because it's people don't have that to other shows.
It's animation. You know what I mean? It's literally the stigma with animation. Like you're supposed to get past a certain point in your life where it's like, grow up. No more Saturday morning cartoons. No more
Homer
this.
cereal.
Get a
Yeah.
real job. Get into the real world. Do
Yeah.
your fucking job. You know what I mean? Be a grown man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take care of business. You know, the same thing. Like, you can't really be watching animation stuff. You don't have kids. What the fuck are you doing, creeper? Why are you watching cartoons in the break room? You know what I mean? That was the stigma. Like, you're too old to be doing this. You know what I mean? But honestly, the character development and you honestly watch it is like, this is pretty adult. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even for kids. You know, I would never even let my, soon to be children sit back and see a beetle eat a kid. You know, it's just not something that I would recommend.
On a Saturday morning, eating
Yeah.
this, well, getting ready for school. Yeah, I think so too. I think there's a misunderstood representation of anime for people that never got into it, and they just almost judge us by associating that, like being a kid and cartoons and adults watching it. They just have like this confusion of it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think nowadays, especially, there's so much going on in the world 2020 that it's like anime is not the weirdest thing going on. So I think people are being more understandable about, like, what's normal, what's not normal, what people are into. I think people are just being more understanding, which is cool finally. um, but i I agree. I think at the beginning I would, it's almost like when you, when someone asks you like, oh, what shows do you watch, you almost want to just say normal human shows, like real life shows. You know what I mean? Like, you would say that first,
I
and you
watch
have to,
Game
like,
of Thrones. Like, I watch Game of Thrones and shit like that. You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
say that to, like,
Before I said I watch Hunter x Hunter, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?"
yeah,
Because it's a normal. You know that a lot of people are more inclined to watch, a sitcom on
yeah,
TV that's coming out, or they watch Power, or they watch shit like that. You get it. You don't want to bring up the fact that, hey, a new episode of Sword Art Online just came out. You know what I mean? The new season's coming out next year, or you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to bring that up because not only are they going to not know what you're talking about, when they finally do realize what you're talking about, you're most likely going to be called a fucking weirdo. So
yeah.
that's the stigma. You know what I mean?
If there was ever a show that would cross that threshold for everyone to be like, everyone has to watch this anime show, would you even want that to happen? Or do you kind of like having anime in this separate world of, like, this is my,
I don't know.
this is my special area,
That's
like, you
a
have,
great show. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
great
you
question.
have your reality shows, you have your normal life, and then you have, like, your, I don't know what the word is, but it's like your guilty pleasure. There you go, guilty
Yeah,
pleasures.
yeah, uh-huh.
It's almost like I don't like that they have a negative stigma, but I almost don't know if I want them to be in this world because I like being alone here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Would
uh-huh.
you want a show to cross that threshold or no?
Here's the thing. I honestly like, and this is gonna sound like kind of this is how I feel. Like, I kind of do, because when I found out that a good friend of mine, watches anime, how excited did I get? Like, shit, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch that, because it's almost like another layer of the conversation that you can have with people that you're generally close to, you know what I mean? And you can
Yeah,
let them in, like, hey, I'm trying to watch this, or I'm trying to get into this. And you're like, shit, I've been into this. Let me help you get into it. Like, I actually love that. Like, I love recommending stuff because I knew that you were going to be experiencing it for the first time. Like, you know what I mean? I actually like that. I wouldn't say on a grand scale of everybody gets it, so it gets like super overhyped or super, watered down or anything else like that. But
yeah.
I would honestly, people that I'm close to, yes, I would want them to get into anime.
It's almost
I would
like
say,
a underground club that it's like Fight Club, that only the people part of Fight Club know about it and enjoy it. Everyone who isn't doesn't even understand it or know about it. But I kind of like being under, like, this underground society.
yeah, yeah.
But it's cool.
It is. It is cool. It is
Uh,
cool.
but anyways, thank you again for coming on again for
Yeah,
Los Angeles. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your mind
don't
about
have to be a stranger, man.
you're one of my main my main best friends and anime friends. So I love these
Exactly.
conversations we could have
Exactly. That
about
means,
anime.
look, see, I'm not only your real life friend, I'm your anime friend. That puts me in another category.
And no, it's the crossover.
It's a
Not,
different level, you
not
know.
everyone crosses over. I
Not
have friends
everyone,
and I have
you can have real friends.
exactly.
They can be your anime friends too. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Put your friendship to a new level. You know what I mean? You can have an anime friend that's like, hey, like, we're cool. Am I anime cool with you? I'm
Yeah,
not cool. It's like, am I letting you in on something?
exactly. And if I give any recommendations for anyone out there, watch more anime. If I could teach you anything from this episode, watch
Dude,
more anime. Just give it a
yeah,
shot.
you're not doing shit at home. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
just sitting back watching Netflix. Put some anime on, man.
yeah. I know you watched the same show, the same episode 3 times, 4 times.
How many seasons of The Office are you gonna
Yeah,
watch? Like, come on.
give
Just
it. Give the seasons you watch a break. Open up your horizon.
yeah,
Open up your mind. Watch some anime. Watch some Hunter x Hunter.
yeah.
Watch some Dragon Ball Z. Just do it.
Just do it. I love it. Get that. Yeah, you should get that
Just do
shirt.
it. Yeah,
It's anime. Just do
fucking
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend. You, Jordan, and Rue. Hope you guys enjoy each other's company. And I'll talk to you next time. And thank you again for everything.
All right, man. Later, dude. Hey, send me these edits, man. I want to see it. This should be good.
I got you. I'll send it as soon as it's ready.
All right.
Okay. Talk to you later.